Welcome viewers to Historical Journeys. Here, a U.S. submarine approaches two Japanese ships as the sun rises over the ocean. However, before the crew can destroy their targets, enemy aircraft appears overhead. As bombs fall from above, the ship plunges deep beneath the waves in a desperate attempt to survive. After 70 years, a worldwide group of jumpers finds something concealed on the seabed, disentangling the last part in this amazing story. 76 years after this U.S. Naval Force submarine was lost, jumpers disentangled its awful destiny. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It only takes a second, and you won't miss any of our future videos. Let's get started. Almost 15 months after the U.S. officially entered the Second Great War, the U.S. Granito starts its last mission. Be that as it may, what befell the annihilated submarine after the bombs fell? For quite a long time, it appeared to be that this secret will stay under the waves until 2019. Did gravity sink the boat's 76-man team into a watery grave? The group battled to fix the harm, yet knew their experience on the submarine was numbered. For quite a long time, nobody knew the full story of what has been going on with the Grenadier. Likewise, with numerous different missions during the conflict, when a fishing boat in the waterways of Malacca detailed that something submerged had gotten its nets. As the voyagers sank many meters underground, they found a long-failed-to-remember secret that permitted them to recount the tale of the tragically missing submarine at last. The Rock first cruised from Maine in November 1940. Weighing right around 1,500 tons, the boat was north of 300 feet in length and could arrive at velocities of more than 20 punches ashore. The Grenadier was a monster, and that is the reason he was shipped off probably the most perilous missions in the ocean. The U.S. Navy deployed the grenade 5 months after it was launched, indicating that it would be involved in subsequent conflicts. By that time, the United States had already entered World War II, which was raging all over the world. The submarine got back to Maine only 1 month before the assault on Pearl Harbor. On December 7, 1941, Japanese powers sent off an unexpected assault on the harbor of Hawaii, formally bringing the U.S. into the Second Great War. The Grenadier was before long shipped off the Pacific and moored at Pearl Harbor prior to cruising to Japan. Be that as it may, despite the fact that the team recognized adversary ships ordinarily, they couldn't sink any of them. However, everything would change during the second mission of the Grenadiers, which took the submarine into the shipping lanes of Taiwan and Japan. The ship destroyed its initial target at the beginning of May 1942. A few key researchers were available on the boat at that point, and it is accepted that this episode assisted with stopping the contention. The obligations of a submarine just turned out to be more hazardous as the expertise of her group expanded. The explosive was then shipped to Halfway, an island in the Pacific Sea somewhere between Asia and North America. With the assistance of submarines like grenades, the U.S. Naval Force crushed the foe and crushed the Japanese Armada all the while. Today, the skirmish of Halfway is viewed as one of the main maritime contentions ever and a defining moment in the Pacific conflict. In any case, World War II endured 3 additional years, and soon the submarine was given another undertaking. At Halfway, the Grenadier Group started their next mission, looking through the waters close to Truk Island in the Focal Pacific. During the conflict, the region filled in as a Japanese base, and the waters were loaded with foe ships. However, move toward airplane over the submarine kept it from sinking any objectives, and the group cruised rather to Fremantle, Australia. With their past mission falling flat, the team realized they required a success. Truth be told, in somewhere around 2 months, the group succeeded once more, this time on New Year's Day 1943, in sinking the Japanese cruiser Hawkeye Mero. The grenade weapon was more successful this time as the submarine began its 5th combat mission. In only 7 weeks, the group figured out how to sink 3 Japanese boats and truly harm a few others. These were the triumphs that the group frantically required. Also, with new expectations, the submarine at long last gotten back to its headquarters in Fremantle. the grenadiers began getting ready for their next task. Nobody could figure that this would be the last mission of the submarine. In mid-walk 1943, Rock left her base and set out toward the waterways of Malacca, a 600-mile stretch of water that interfaces the Pacific Sea with the Indian Sea. A Japanese cargo ship was discovered and sunk by grenadier crews on April 6 off the coast of Phuket, Thailand. After 14 days, a few Japanese boats located the submarine and put it on a dangerous course because of a report composed by Lieutenant John A. Fitzgerald, who expert of explosives. We realized what occurred straight away. Seeing the hostiles' boat, the mariners arranged to assault and sped up. They chose to accomplish something exceptionally hazardous. However, it would be pricey if conceivable. They flee the adversary. In any case, Fitzgerald composed that before the explosives could arrive at the two boats, they tracked down an airplane on board. To stay away from faux fire, the group immediately moved the submarine under the waves. However, at this point, the explosives had been spotted by faux airplane. At the point when sand sinks to profundities more noteworthy than 100 feet, Fitzgerald accepts they had the option to get away. However, soon the boat is annihilated, submerged by the blast. The Japanese bombs hit their targets despite being deep underwater, and the submarine sank below the surface. The submarine was gravely harmed, lost all power, and the team struggled in obscurity. More regrettable, the fire went with the group consistently, representing a danger to the whole space apparatus. The men on board the Grenadier figured out how to right the destroyed boat and phenomenally got back to the surface after sunset. To draw the projectiles nearer to the ground, Fitzgerald requested his team to set up a counterfeit screen. Fitzgerald and the crew were aware that the desperate attempt to flee was successful. Not too far off were a few Japanese boats going directly toward the submarine. In the end, the group had no real option except to leave the destruction submarine to keep it from falling into faux hands, so they deserted transport and looked as the submarine vanished underneath the waves. The 76 Grenadier Marines were quickly rescued from the water and transported to Penang, Malaysia, by Japanese ships. As indicated by Fitzgerald, the men's detainers utilized torment to compel them to uncover secret data. A couple of months after the fact, the religious woman's men were taken to a Japanese jail. There were long stretches of time of torment, and the people who endure were hesitant to quit battling. At the point when the fight had last finished, the enduring Grenadier troopers got back to on. Yet one of the boats was caught in the waterways of Malacca. Toward the finish of the conflict, in excess of 50 American submarines had been lost, and many, similar to the Grenadier, had essentially vanished. For quite a long time, the last whereabouts of Fitzgerald's funeral car were obscure, and over the long haul the ones who served his receptive family became old and kicked the bucket. Furthermore, in 2019, the year an astonishing new part throughout the entire existence of the submarine showed up, its just enduring part passed on. In October of that year, a group of jumpers figured out how to view what they accepted as the remaining parts of the Grenadier. Remanence was one of the jumpers who had the chance to track down them. Remanence isn't just a legend, he likewise chases lost ships in his extra time. As a matter of fact, Remanence says it went through years investigating the possible area of the disaster area. The settlement might have shown the area of conceivable lightning strikes. He then utilized sonar innovation to see the article, however he wasn't doing it single-handedly. As indicated by sonar information, there is a significant thing around 250 feet underneath the lower part of the Malacca waterway. A jumper is restricted to a profundity of 130 feet to arrive at this point, and his group should utilize unique gear as per the relationship of expert plunging teachers. In any case, regardless of how little they jump, they see that they have found what they were searching for. Despite its simplicity, the submarine wreck was more than any of them had anticipated. We were unable to swim around the entire wreck. In a way, Horowitz appears to be disappearing. Past the screen, the group looked through neighborhood records to track down the missing vehicle, however in the end needed to return underground to track down replies. So we searched again for hints. However, none were found. Horowitz told the related press in September 2020. The team was confident that they had discovered the grenadier's remains because of this procedure. As per Horowitz, the estimations of the disaster area were basically the same as those recorded by Fitzgerald's last submarine. The exploration group couldn't just guarantee that the remaining parts were grenadiers. The team put together a portfolio of documents that showed that the grenadier owned the wreck. The Associated Press reports that shipwreck hunters frequently confirm a find by contacting the Navy. Dr. Robert Nayland, top of the Submerged Paleontology Division, said the full examination, investigation, and documentation could require between 2 months and a year. For some purposes, this last section in the Grenadier story has been extremely past due. Throughout the war, this ship played a significant role and was very important to all of its crew. Her holo, assuming you read the survivor's book, said that it was truly an experience that they went through to find out where she would at long last rest. I believe it's exceptionally fulfilling to have the option to discover a few conclusions for themselves as well as their families. The shipwreck in and of itself is a haven for aquatic life. Thanks for watching. If you want to stay updated with our latest videos, subscribing is the way to go. Just click that red button below and become a part of our channel family.